Let's look at the basics of how to stand out in job interviews. This is where your second chance to make a first impression comes in. And there are three parts to this first impression. Part A is the time that you arrive for the interview. 10 minutes beforehand. That's the magic number. Not half an hour beforehand and not 2 minutes beforehand, because that makes it look like you didn't plan your time well. 10 minutes. Plan for delays on your way to the interview. Being late kills your first impression before you even walk in. It's a good idea to aim to be half an hour early and then not go into the building until 10 minutes beforehand. And in fact, if I had to travel for some hours to be at the interview venue, I'd arrange to be in the area perhaps even an hour beforehand, just to be absolutely sure. Because you never know when there's going to be a problem with the rail system or in the traffic, however you're getting there. If the interview's online, log in early. Check that the internet is okay. Test your camera and microphone and the volume. It's just basics, but it's important. Part B is your appearance. Your goal is to look professional. But what does that mean? Well, it depends on the job you're applying for. If it's a management role in a white-collar organization and the standard dress is a suit and tie, then that's what you wear to the interview. Obviously, the same principle goes for women. Find out about the standards and emulate them. Do your research beforehand to find out. If you're applying for a role where a uniform is normally worn, say, or one where the dress is normally not particularly formal, you should still go for a button-up shirt for men and button-up blouse for women. No jeans, closed shoes. In other words, smart casual. Dressing appropriately not only shows that you've taken care, but it also indicates respect, and it's appreciated. Keep accessories, makeup, and perfume or cologne minimal. I've seen people come to interviews dressed to kill, low-cut tops, and while they might have been very attractive, contextually, that put a question mark over who they were. I mean, if you think that being flamboyant or sexy in your appearance will score points, don't bother. At least not with a reputable organization. Make sure your hair is neat and tidy and clean. Check your teeth. Yes, really, look in the mirror beforehand. Now, second first impressions, part C. In the UK, when you meet the interviewer, don't offer a handshake. It's normal etiquette for the employer to initiate. And post-COVID, some people prefer not to do handshakes anymore anyway. So take your lead from the interviewer. And whether you shake hands or not, smile, look them in the eyes, and confidently say something like, "Good morning, pleased to meet you." Basically, you mirror their actions. If you do shake hands, let it be firm, but not crushing, nor like a dead fish. Oh, and definitely do not do this with your hand because it indicates dominance, like this. Your body language is also part of making an impression, and you need to be conscious of it all the way through the interview. Don't take a seat until you're invited to, but then sit upright, but relaxed. You want to be in a position where you can lean slightly forward to appear attentive when the interviewer is speaking, without overdoing it, of course. And also keep your hands visible. Don't fidget or hide them. But don't cross your arms either, because that indicates defensiveness or an aggressive attitude. Nod slightly as you're being spoken to show that you're engaged, but don't overdo it. And no matter whether the interviewer is speaking or you are, look at them, not at the ceiling while you're speaking or down at your shoes, because that doesn't give the right impression. And I mention it, but you'd be surprised how many people do get that wrong. Now I'm going to rewind for a moment to beforehand, where you prepare for the interview. As you do so, your CV becomes your script. Go through it and be prepared to answer questions on everything you said in it. For instance, if you said that you were trained in conflict resolution as part of your job in the hospitality industry, be prepared for the interviewer to ask you for one or two instances where that training was useful and what the outcome was. Or if you wrote, I managed a team of 5 to deliver a product launch, then be ready to give details, such as, we were up against a tight deadline, so I created a task tracker and held daily check-ins, and that helped us to deliver the project early. Always be ready to justify and expand on anything you've written. Also, be ready to answer generic type questions such as, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I know that's a bit cliched, but you might still be asked for it, so prepare for it. And if you are, you say something like, in 5 years, I'd really like to be here, growing with the company and taking on new challenges. I'm always looking to improve, so I hope to have built on my skills and taken on more responsibility. And here's another tip. If the salary wasn't advertised and they ask you what you're expecting to earn, never give them a figure. Say something like this. For me, the most important thing is finding the right role and fit. And I'm sure that a reputable company such as this offers salaries that are fair for the responsibilities of the role. So I'd be happy to consider something based on those criteria. And then when you come to the interview, bring a printed copy of your CV, a copy of the job description, a pen and notebook, and any documents or ID that they've asked for. Also, be prepared to ask your own thoughtful questions at the end of the interview, because that shows you're genuinely interested in the role and helps you assess whether the job and company are the right fit for you. Here are some examples of questions that you can ask. What are the immediate priorities for someone starting in this role? Or, how do you measure success in this role? How about this one? Can you tell me about the team I'd be working with? And another one, what are the company's biggest challenges at the moment? Or what are the company's plans for growth and development over the next few years? Just ensure that the answers to the questions you ask can't be found on the company website, because if you ask those, it'll indicate you haven't done your homework. And if the interview is online, make sure that your background is tidy and you're not backlit. In other words, you should be facing a window, more or less. Definitely not with the window behind you, otherwise you'll just appear as a silhouette. In another part of my course, I show you how to position yourself for video. At the end of the interview, thank them sincerely. Something like, thanks again for your time. I really enjoyed learning more about the role. And smile. Leave them with a great last impression. When you get home or you log off, take a few minutes to reflect. What went well? What could you improve? Were there any questions you weren't ready for? And then send a short thank you email the same day. It's polite and it keeps you in their mind. So let's recap the essentials. Dress smartly, arrive early, greet confidently and use good body language, prepare for every CV bullet point, and ask intelligently thought out questions. And say thank you both in person and after. The best interviewees practice, so rehearse, get feedback from people you can trust, and you'll become more confident and perform better in the interview. I hope you found that useful.